Oh man, you guys are seeing my face right now. So here we have the Star Wars Battlefront 2 review. I'm sorry that this took so long, guys. I was just busy with so many things. I had so many things coming up, and this is the one game that I did want to really review. It was Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I know a lot of people are asking me, why are you reviewing this game? Why are you choosing this game of all games to review? It's because for a lot of people that don't know, I'm a major Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, and it really, really hurts me. It really, really hurts me when they make a game like Battlefront 2, and they mess a lot of things up. It really hurts me, and for a lot of people that aren't gonna like a lot of the things that I'm gonna say in this review, I just wanted to show you guys something. Look at this: Star Wars Battlefront 1, the original. Star Wars Battlefront 2, PlayStation 2, original 2005. I even liked it so much that I bought it on PC a long time ago. So I have Star Wars Battlefront 1, and then I have the other two games. And then I also have the other Star Wars Battlefront 1, the one in 2015. And I'm going to say this is not by any means a terrible game. I'm just going to say that. And I apologize for this review being so long. This is my first really this is my first real game review, so if you guys could give me some feedback on game reviews in the future, and if this video is a success, I'll do more game reviews in the future, but just go easy on me because this is my first game review, and I tried my best to review this game to everything that I possibly can because I had to go into a lot of depth on everything in this game pretty much. And I just want to say this is not a terrible game. It's not terrible. If you are a Star Wars fan, you definitely should pick this game up because there is not other games that are out there like this. But this game suffers from a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And I won't say that the game's absolutely terrible. I'll just say it's disappointing for what it could have been. This game had so much potential, and to some extent it does live up to that potential. It does do a lot of good things. Everything that this game does good, I praise in this review. But everything that it does bad, I'm gonna attack, and I'm gonna really attack everything that it does wrong in this review because I feel like this game messed up a lot. I feel like this game messed up in single player, arcade mode, and multiplayer. And I'm going to divide this review into three parts. The first part of this review will be the single player. So right after I finish talking here, you guys are going to see my single player portion. Then it's going to be the arcade portion, and then it's going to be the multiplayer portion. So I have something to say about each part. So let me know what you guys think of the review. And again, I apologize for this being so long. This is my first real video game review, and if this is successful, I'll do more reviews in the future. But I tried my best on a review here, so any feedback, any criticism, I appreciate it. So anything I can do better in the future, let me know below. But I tried my best on this review. And also, a lot of the things that I'm going to say in the story is my personal opinion. But as a Star Wars fan, I'm really hurt by a lot of the things in the story. And also, I was waiting until I saw The Last Jedi to fully review this game because I didn't see The Last Jedi until like the mid-January. I didn't get the chance to see it then, and I wanted to play the Resurrection DLC, which continued the main storyline, and people told me don't play it until you see Last Jedi. So I saw Last Jedi mid-January, and I've been working on this review. Like I try to work on it a little bit every day, and it turned out to be such a long review. So here you go. First part of it is single player. I hope that you guys enjoy this review, and let me know what you think down below. So let's get started on the review. So this game does not even start out in the single player with the Star Wars opening credits. It just says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but it just starts out with a cutscene. It doesn't even have the typical Star Wars opening credits that we've seen in so many other games. Other than that, though, at the beginning of the story mode, at least at the beginning, it has an amazing opening. Let me just play this for you guys right here so you see what I'm talking about.
Infiltration. Extraction. G Special Forces.
Iden Versio. Inferno Squad. Commander Versio. You must be important. Look at me. So let's talk facts. That's what I'm here for. You have the activation code. I've got the ability to help you out. Just give me the code. You know we could really use someone like you. Just help me and I'll help you. It's that easy. I'm gonna get what I want eventually. My best technicians are slicing into your droid right now. Take on my offer. All I want is the code. The Empire's time has come. You don't have to go down with it.
You're right. The Empire's time has come.
So as you guys saw, this game has an amazing opening, and she allows herself to be captured with the purpose of infiltrating the rebel ship and deleting the plans about the Imperial blockade at Endor, so that the rebels do not have knowledge about that. And you know what's really cool about this mission is this mission gives you the real Special Forces feel. I mean, you start out with playing as her like a little droid friend here, and you shock this rebel soldier here, and then you use your droid, and then you go around the rebel ship basically. You go through like the ventilation ducts, and then you end up freeing her. You can like spy on the cameras and stuff like here. And what I really love about this is that they actually included a stealth mode. The stealth mode isn't perfect, don't get me wrong. It has its ups and downs, but there is a stealth mode. And that's what I love about this, is that there's a stealth mode, because this is like the first Star Wars game, correct me if I'm wrong, that I've actually seen a stealth mode in, and I have a great appreciation for that, that I don't have to shoot my way out of every single situation. Whenever a game has stealth mode, I do greatly appreciate it, and I always try to take advantage of stealth as much as I can, so I do really enjoy that. And you know, when you actually break out of the cell right here, it is pretty cool. You use the little droid here to break out of the cell. You see the droid open the door here. You go out here and you go on foot. You don't have a blaster or anything, so you're forced into stealth right here to try to get a weapon. And you get to see these little cool takedowns when you actually come up behind enemies. And that's really cool about this game, is that we actually have a stealth mode that we can rely on. And the droid can do it as well too. Here, you can even shock multiple enemies if they're together, just like this here. So if you're pretty good with the timing, you can shock a bunch of enemies together and you can get a lot of stealth kills. What I just wish is, I wish that the stealth was in more missions, because in a lot of the missions they actually force you to use a blaster, they force you to fight, and I wish stealth was more of an option in more missions. And in some of these missions the enemies can spot you really easy, so the stealth mission isn't perfect, but I guess it is there, so that is a plus. I do appreciate that it's there, but I just wish it was available in more missions, because I just can't I can't picture like a Special Forces just blasting their way out of every single situation. So the game does have an interesting opening sequence, and it does have an interesting introduction to Infernal Squadron. The first level has an amazing ending as well. When you end the level and you get in the escape pod here and you're surrounded by rebels and you just fly out here. And I didn't know the Special Forces suit that she wears, apparently you can survive in space with it, which is kind of cool, but we never actually utilize this feature. We never actually get to go into space with her suit. We only actually see it in the cutscene. And right here, she gets on the ship, and, you know, I like this at the start here. I was really enjoying this, and something bad happens later on. I'm going to explain it. But I was really enjoying this from the start here, and, you know, you get to see Imperial perspective, you get to see what it's like from their eyes, and, you know, you're introduced to your squad here, and they're laughing, they're complimenting each other, you know. It's not like in the movies where we see the Imperials as all just completely evil, no soul or emotion whatsoever. Here we actually see them. We're introduced to Agent Hask, and we're introduced to Del, and, you know, these characters, they have their own personalities, their own opinions, their own likes and dislikes, and, you know, we get to see that for a moment here, and that's what I really like about this, is that we get to see the Empire as not being completely evil, but as human beings as well. Unfortunately, though, the game messes up a little later on, but we're going to get to that.
Today, the rebellion dies.
Wow, what an intro. Later on here, we see the Battle of the Endor on the planet itself. And, you know, this is where Episode 6 ends, and where the Empire pretty much is on the verge of collapse before the Battle of Jakku. And we get to see, you know, in the movies, we see how the rebels are celebrating. The rebels are really happy that they're winning. And here we actually get to see that the Empire is desperate, because in the movies we're all cheerful and everything like that, but here, when we actually play from the Empire perspective, we see they're getting desperate. This is just after they lost the Super Star Destroyer, and the shield generator just went down. And as this cutscene is going on, actually, the Falcon is actually flying into the Death Star itself, and is actually in the process of destroying the reactor when we're doing this mission. So everything lines up perfectly here. So the mission design on this was flawless right here. And To start it off, we can go into first person a lot of times when we want, but one thing that kind of annoys me is certain actions, it'll automatically put you back in the third person, which, you know, right there when I tried to stealth kill an enemy, it put me right back in the third person, and, you know, what's the point of going into first person if I can't do the stealth kill in first person, you know? So here I wanted to show you guys this. Right here, what's unique about the campaign in this is that you can choose what kind of weapon you want to use, what kind of blaster, what kind of perks and extra equipment, and I really like that. You kind of are able to create your own class when you're playing through these missions here. So you do kind of have your own playstyle here, but pretty much a lot of times you're not able to do stealth and you're still forced to blast your way through a lot of the missions anyways. So here, let me show you guys the Imperial perspective right when the second Death Star gets blown up.
We're near platform 4.
Is there a shuttle there?
No, TIE fighters only.
Even better.
We should move carefully. We don't know how many rebels are out here.
No, we'll deal with them the same as the rest. Today we wipe out that scum once and for all.
Look alive, agents. We can grieve later. Right now, we need to move.
On you, Commander.
So we get to see what it's like from the Imperial perspective.
And secure those TIE fighters. That's our only way back to the Corvus. Agent Miko, scout ahead.
Yes, Commander.
So one thing that really does bother me when going through these missions in the campaign is, you know, we're playing from an Imperial perspective, and the game is advertised as you playing as the commander of Infernal Squadron, an elite Imperial Special Forces unit, and right here we have a dangerous situation. We're fighting a bunch of rebels, and this is on the hardest difficulty, and the rebels stole a walker, and you know what's really annoying me here is that it's like I feel like I'm doing all the work here myself. I mean, my teammates will kill enemies from time to time, but I feel like I'm doing all the work myself, and I'm supposed to be an Imperial Special Forces commander, and my teammates Agent Hask and Del, they're literally not doing anything right now to help me in this situation. And you know, Del, he has a sniper blaster, and you know, you'd think that these teammates would have different abilities. And you know, I'm not a fan of Call of Duty, but one thing that Call of Duty World War II did correctly in its campaign was they made the teammate AI, they made them useful, because they gave them certain abilities, like they could heal you, they could toss you ammo, things like that. And why can't the teammates do that here? Like, why can't I mark a target for, like, Del, for instance, and he could snipe that target? Or, like, why doesn't Agent Hask have an ability where he could heal me and stuff like that? Or something else, like he could pull out a rocket launcher and fire at the walker. You know, why can't my teammates, why can't my squad mates have their own abilities? I don't feel like I'm playing as an Imperial Special Forces commander if I can't command my squad mates. So it kind of does annoy me how I'm not able to give them orders, and they don't have any abilities. All they basically do is just follow me around and appear in cutscenes, and they might kill the occasional enemy here and there, but pretty much they're useless. So the teammate AI, they don't really do anything, so they shouldn't advertise this as you playing as an Imperial Special Forces commander if you can't even command and give your teammates orders. It really doesn't make sense. So as we continue the campaign early on, it has some amazing missions, and this in particular here is my favorite part of the campaign. This was an amazing scene right here. You take the TIE fighter and you fly into the Rebel cruiser. This was amazing. Take a look at this in my live reaction. Oh, this is sick. I'm gonna kill all of this rebel scum. Unfortunately, for early on in the campaign, we get 3 missions where we play as the Empire. 3 missions, that's it. And on Mission 5, it's absolutely ruined. Mission 4 doesn't even count because Mission 4 is a mission where you play as Luke Skywalker. And it's really, the mission is set up mostly so that Del starts questioning the Empire and his loyalty to it. But there's literally none of that question that comes to Iden. And this whole sequence here, it's just so random. It just comes out of nowhere. And you know what the Empire's first objective is? The Empire is on the brink of destruction. They just lost the Emperor. They lost the second Death Star. They lost the Super Star Destroyer. And now all of a sudden, you know what they're going to do? The first thing that they're planning on doing is, oh yeah, let's destroy the planet that's the most loyal to us. Let's obliterate Vardos with this crazy electrical storm. The planet that's the most loyal to us, let's destroy it. That's how it's going to help us win the war. This story makes no sense. You know, I can understand the Empire trying to take revenge and destroying all the planets that are loyal to the rebellion, but I don't understand why the hell they are destroying the planets that's the most loyal to them. That's not going to help them win the war, and it's just so poorly written. It just makes no sense, you know? Where are they going to house all their troops? They need a stronghold. They need puppet worlds in order to be able to fuel their empire. If they're going to just destroy every single planet, what kind of resources are they going to have, you know? This is not tactical for any kind of army to do such a thing, especially to an area that's loyal to you. It makes no sense. Instead, they should just be focusing on destroying planets that are rebel-controlled or rebel-aligned. That's what they should be doing. Why are they destroying the planet that's the most loyal to them? It makes no sense, and it's just going to alienate more people and cause more people to defect to the rebels. Now let me show you guys where the campaign has its biggest flaw, down here in this mission. Even though this mission is an absolute disaster, one good thing about this mission is that we actually get to see what an Imperial-controlled world looks like, and we get to see it temporarily from their perspective. So right here, we get to see the Empire moving around, mobilizing troops, arresting people, walkers walking around, TIE fighters flying around, searchlights everywhere. This is the heart of the Empire right here, and we get to see what one of their worlds actually look like in depth here. This isn't where we're seeing it from the Rebel perspective. We're actually walking through the Empire's shoes right now, temporarily, at least until we get to the horrible scene that's coming up. And here it is. This is the worst part of the game coming up right now. This is what absolutely ruined the story for me. Here, this is the quickest defection that I've ever seen in a video game or a movie. Right here, see, spoiler alert, he switches sides to the rebellion so quickly. I have never seen somebody switch sides so quickly. And I'm not referring to Star Wars. I'm referring to everything in general. Movies and games, I've never seen anybody swap sides so quickly, especially a Special Forces commander. Special Forces are supposed to be the most loyal of troops. They're supposed to be the most by-the-book troops. But for some reason, Iden just refuses to follow orders here and just betrays the Empire so quickly. I mean, just take a look at this.
Commander, we have a ship on landing bay 2. You'll be safe there. Go! Go now! Go!
Whoa, what are you doing? No!
Stop! This is not our mission!
Stand down. It's okay, we'll get you off-world. Go.
No. Don't you!
I am your commander! Stand down!
Aiden, our orders are clear. We are to recover the Protectorate Gleb alone.
Things have changed. Look around you, man. Do you even recognize the Empire anymore?
Please don't do this.
The Empire's job is to save civilians from things like Operation Cinder.
This is the new Empire.
If this is the new Empire, I want no part of it. I'm taking the orders of my commanding officer.
Are these your orders? Are these your orders? Because if they are, this is treason. Are these your orders?
Yes.
Then I have mine.
Lower your weapon.
Defiance will be the death of him. Admiral Versio, Commander Versio, and Agent Miko have abandoned the mission. They've committed treason. I'm sorry.
Understood. Return Gleb to me. That is your mission. I will take care of the traitors.
What the hell just happened? I'm sorry for my language, guys, but this is the part of the game that really got on my nerves right here, and I'm sure this got on a lot of people's nerves. This game was advertised as playing from an Imperial perspective. We were supposed to play from an Imperial perspective. What the hell just happened? What was that? If you read the books about Aiden, she is the most loyal Imperial soldier ever. She is the most by-the-book Special Forces. That's what Special Forces are supposed to be. They're supposed to be the most obedient of soldiers. They're supposed to be loyal. You know, a regular soldier, a regular stormtrooper has much more chances of defecting than Special Forces. So you're a Special Forces commander, and out of nowhere, you've grown up with the Empire. You've been indoctrinated for so many years. You believe in this ideology. You're brainwashed by this ideology, and then all of a sudden you just snap like that and just change sides. It makes no sense. Whoever wrote this storyline, it was good up until this point. This point is a disaster. You know, this storyline, it was going in a wonderful direction at first. I was so excited, and you know, this is what I feared. This is what I absolutely feared. I predicted this. I called that this was going to happen. I called it. When I was watching the Battlefront 2 trailer, and I reacted to the trailer a few months before the game actually came out, I said they better not have her switch to Rebellion halfway through the storyline, because that's gonna be a really crappy storyline, and this turned into one. It had the potential to be such a great storyline, but it turned into such a crappy storyline with this moment right here. So from this point on, spoilers ahead. You've been loyal to the Empire. You've been working with them for years, and all of a sudden she's just now opening fire, and she doesn't even hesitate. She's just killing her former brothers, her former sisters that she served with for such long. She just turns on them like this. It makes no sense. I mean, just take a look at my video in the past and see that I predicted this. Okay, so here, if you guys take a look at this is October 20, 2017, and this is my reaction to Star Wars Battlefront 2 trailer, and I predicted exactly what was going to happen in this campaign. My worst fears came true. Take a look at what I said back then. Guys, remember, I'm going to do a walkthrough of this game at my channel when it comes out. It's coming out next month, and I'm going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to play on probably maybe the second hardest difficulty. I'm going to do a walkthrough on it. And what I really hope is, that she doesn't end up switching sides. Because if she ends up switching sides like 75% through the story, she's like, oh, I'm on the wrong side in the war. And then she goes over to the rebellion, and then she dies as a rebel hero. That's gonna be so stupid. I'm gonna get really pissed off if that happens. I want her to stay on the Imperial side. I want this. If they said that they want to do an Imperial perspective. If you want to do an Imperial perspective, stay on the Empire the entire time. I'm really happy that they chose the Imperials to be the protagonists in this game in the single player. So I hope that it's Empire until the end. No switching sides, no rebellion crap in the middle. That's gonna really suck. Make the rebels the enemies. Play as the Imperials. It's going to make it for a very, very interesting campaign, because not a lot of games do that. Almost every game you're always fighting the Imperials. Do a game where you are the Imperials. Make it a story mode. Make likable characters. You know? So unfortunately, everything I predicted pretty much happened, and I really was hoping it wouldn't happen like I said it would, but it ended up happening, and it's unfortunate, but we got to deal with it. So let's take a look at whatever we got left in this game, and let me tell you guys about the rest of the campaign. Does the rest of the campaign have anything else to offer? Let me show you. Some parts of the campaign get even worse, like the Han Solo mission later on, and this mission is just so pointless and just so stupid. It has no link whatsoever to the main story, and I feel like they just put it in there just to waste time and put in another mission. And you know, this is supposed to be Aiden's story, but we're not playing as Aiden a lot, and we're playing as these hero characters. And in this mission particularly here, this is just a horde mode where we're just fighting waves and waves of stormtroopers, and then we're just searching for crates. It has no tie whatsoever to the actual story, and the guy that you go with is so annoying. I mean, just take a look at my live reaction to this. Just look at how badly this mission is designed.
Top job! Good job! You're just marvelous!
This guy is so annoying, I'm about to shoot him myself.
It's obviously not there. Why would I leave it in that?
You're not helping. Found
They're
it.
everywhere.
Reinforcements. Get down.
Getting down.
So the Han Solo mission is probably the worst mission in the game itself, but the one good thing about the mission is at the very end, at least we get to fly the Millennium Falcon, and we get to take on an Imperial light cruiser, and we get to dogfight a bunch of TIE fighters. We get to shoot down the light cruiser over the lake. But other than that, this mission has no tie whatsoever to the main story, and they just threw it in there just because they could throw it in there. This mission is just so poorly done, and it's just in there just to waste time. I felt like the developers were really lazy, especially with this mission here. It has no tie whatsoever to the regular storyline. Take this thing down. Got you. Fortunately, though, there are some good parts of the campaign. Some good parts. Like, for instance, we get to see what Naboo looks like under Imperial control, which I'm going to show you right now. Damn. A robot got destroyed? Okay, wait, I guess we won.
I think we just won.
There are other detailed parts of the campaign, such as near the end of the game at the Battle of Jakku, when we're fighting on top of a Star Destroyer towards the bridge, and we're just fighting elite groups of, like, stormtroopers that have, like, jetpacks, and that is kind of fun. Okay, heal me, heal me. Go away. And then we have the parts when we get to see what it's like to be on a Star Destroyer when it's going down. In the movies, we see a lot of Star Destroyers going down, but we never see what it's like to be on one in the process of going down. And here we have the worst dialogue in the entire game. Take a look at this.
You saw the Empire's weakness and refused to let it consume you. It makes you stronger. That's why you're leaving here without me.
Deserves better than this.
No, I don't, but you do, Iden. You deserve to live in peace. Go. Survive. Live.
So let me get this straight. We had a hardcore Imperial Special Forces commander who vowed to destroy the rebellion, switch sides so quickly, and now, all of a sudden, the Admiral, her father, who sent so many Imperials to kill her. Throughout the campaign, he wanted to kill her. He wanted to eliminate her for betraying him so badly. And then at the very end of the game, he just realizes, oh my god, you're right. This Empire is a failure. I'm sorry. You go survive, Iden. I mean, come on. An Imperial Admiral who ordered Operation Cinder. This is the guy who ordered the planet of Naboo and the planet of Vardos to be completely obliterated. And now all of a sudden this guy is like, I'm sorry, Iden. You were right. This whole concept makes no sense. So first an Imperial Special Forces commander, and then an admiral who says, I'm going down with the ship. Oh my god. I don't know what kind of character development they had for this game. And then here at the very end, they decide to throw in a romance also, just to make it even more cheesy. And the thing is, there was no build-up to this romance moment either. It just came out of nowhere. Where's her father? Is he dead? And of course they're throwing romance into this. The only character I actually liked in this game was Agent Hask, who was much better than Aiden or Dell, and he stayed loyal till the end. He didn't bail at the first second like them.
Did you really think it would be so easy?
Hask.
We picked up the Corvus the second it slipped through the blockade. If it were up to me, I'd deal with you personally. But I have responsibilities now. And taking care of you is no longer one of them. Goodbye, Aiden.
No, we can't let him get away!
The worst moment in the entire campaign, in my opinion, is the Cloud City mission, when you steal a cloud car, and you find 3 Star Destroyers refueling at once, and for some reason, the cloud car is better equipped than TIE fighters and can evade TIE fighters, trained military personnel, trained pilots. So somehow, a cloud car is more effective than TIE fighters, and you're able to destroy 3 Star Destroyers with a cloud car. I am not joking on that, guys. 3 Star Destroyers get destroyed by 1 cloud car. So 3 Star Destroyers and an entire fleet of TIE fighters, trained pilots, are no match for 1 cloud car. This was the worst part of the campaign. The cheesiest moment in the entire campaign was the cloud car part. I mean, just take a look at this for yourself. 3 Star Destroyers destroyed by 1 cloud car. Are you serious? And they had all these Star Destroyers just refueling in this one area like this, and didn't have anything else protecting it, like no other capital ships? Are you kidding me? How incompetent is the Empire in this game?
Too bad Hask slipped through our fingers.
I think this is the cheesiest thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars game. 3 Star Destroyers destroyed by a cloud car. A Star Destroyer can destroy a rebel capital ship, and like, all of those Star Destroyers just refueling like that, nothing else protecting them. Ugh. So here we come to the end of the story part of the review. So to sum it up, the story mode at first was fun. It was fun at first playing as Imperial Special Forces, but then, less than halfway through the storyline, after only 3 missions of playing as the Empire, makes no sense. All of a sudden, she just changes sides to the rebellion and starts killing her former Imperial brothers and sisters. She just turns on them like a snap of a second like that. Like that out of nowhere. For being an Imperial Special Forces commander, the daughter of a High Admiral, and indoctrinated into this Imperial belief, and then she can just switch sides like that. The whole concept makes no sense, guys. It makes no sense. And, you know, I liked Agent Hask a lot as a character because at least Agent Hask stayed loyal to his beliefs, even if that was the Empire. He didn't just change sides like them. It made no sense. And this campaign was filled by plot holes and just filled with just so many things that didn't make sense. The whole concept, the story mode, the characters. You know, it would have been a lot better if, instead of writing the Captain Phasma book, if she ended up becoming Captain Phasma. That would have been a much better storyline, I think, personally. Seeing her actually grow up and leading the First Order into the films, that would have been a lot better. But instead they chose to do this whole redemption storyline where he plays the rebellion. And, you know, even if they didn't choose her to be Phasma, if they chose her to be something else, like maybe some type of top First Order general or something like that, it would have turned out to be a lot better. If she ended up dying on the side of the Empire, I think the story mode would have been a lot better. And, you know, there is a Resurrection DLC. And that Resurrection DLC, it takes place after the story mode, and it's supposed to continue the story mode. The Resurrection DLC, I'm not even going to really talk about it on this review. It takes place during The Force Awakens, and it's just so rushed. It's even more rushed than this, and I don't want to put any more spoilers in this video. But how long is this campaign in total? This campaign is around only 4 hours. That's right, only 4 hours. I beat this whole thing in 4 hours, and like half of the missions that you actually play, you don't actually play as Aiden. That's right. So half of the missions in this game you don't even actually play as Aiden, even though this is supposed to be her story mode, and it's only 4 hours. And if you add the Resurrection DLC, that's like 45 minutes to an hour. So in total, 5 hours. A 5-hour story mode. Oh my god, EA, what were you thinking? And here, guys, I'll leave it off with this final clip for the story mode before we move on to the arcade. Take a look at this clip, and then I'll play you a clip from earlier. And just look at both of these clips and compare and contrast. This is how badly written the story was.
Oh, hello, Your Highness.
Good work out there. But I'd expect nothing less from Inferno Squad.
So you've spoken to General Calrissian?
You've done a lot of damage to this alliance.
Yes, we have, ma'am. And there's no excuse for it.
You gotta be
Watching
kidding
you
me.
fight today, it's clear you're not just running from the Empire. This means something to you.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god.
We've been
I'm
fighting
sorry.
our
I'm
whole
sorry
lives.
if my anger is bothering you guys on this
taken us too
video,
long to
but
realize that we're
I just literally have to say what's on my mind. Like, this is just so cheesy. Like, I can't believe, I honestly can't believe they did it with the storyline like this. This was supposed to be from an Imperial perspective. You're a damn Imperial you're a former Imperial Special Forces commander. A commander is supposed to be the most loyal of troops to the Empire, and all of a sudden now she just realizes the Empire is evil and the rebellion are the good guys. What's going on here? Who wrote this story?
Today, the rebellion dies. You've done a lot of damage to this alliance.
Yes, we have, ma'am. And there's no excuse for it.
Today, the rebellion dies.
So, we have a whole new part of the game right here called Arcade Mode. And what basically Arcade Mode is just versing bots. That's all it really is. It's on different maps where you play as different heroes and different classes, and you're just fighting bots. That's really all it is. And you can play it solo, co-op, or versus. And you know, what's really funny is that in Star Wars Battlefront 1, our main complaint with Star Wars Battlefront 1 was that Star Wars Battlefront 1 did not have enough content, and it didn't. But what they messed up on here is, one thing that Star Wars Battlefront 1 had was they had those small, like, co-op missions. You know, they had, like, those few co-op missions that were actually, some of them were fun. Like the Hoth one where you went around with the snow speeders and destroying the AT-ATs with your buddy. It was like a short mission, but it was still fun. And they had the survival modes, and the survival modes, those were actually fun. I actually enjoyed a lot of the survival modes, especially the Hoth survival. I love the Hoth survival. You know, you're running around, they spawning walkers and stuff, and you're trying to survive. You can choose what type of blaster you want to use and stuff like that. And it was just cool playing that with your buddy, and you can play that online. And this is a step down from that. This is just, this mode is, this whole part of the game here, the arcade mode, it's just so disappointing. It really is. It's, for one, you can't play this. You cannot play this online. You can't. When you play this co-op, you have to play this with somebody that's right on the couch with you. You cannot play this. You cannot play this online. So in Star Wars Battlefront 1, you had survival and you had those few missions, and you could do those online with your friends, online co-op. But here, you can only do it like it's kind of stupid. It really is. You can only do it with your friend on the couch. So like, let me get this straight. Battlefront 1 did the bot mode better than Battlefront 2. And like, I mean, this mode, it's just really, it really is lazy. It really is lazy. Like, I mean, like here we have like a custom arcade mode, and like we can choose what type of map we want basically here. And you know, we have like two types of game modes: Onslaught or Team Deathmatch. I mean, Team Battle here. And I mean, Onslaught, basically they're just coming at you like in waves and waves at you. It's nothing really special, and it doesn't even feel like a survival, because the enemies are just spawning from all directions, and it's not like wave after wave. It's just they're all spawned together at once, so it doesn't really feel like a survival. It kind of really is boring. And team battle, nothing special either. Let me show you guys some of the actual battle scenarios that they have here. They have light and dark side here. And I mean, light side here, we have all these different scenarios here where we play as our heroes on certain maps here, and we're just fighting bots. It's nothing special. Like, when you click on this, when you read the description, you know, you feel like it's like a mission. You feel like it's like gonna be some kind of cool mission and stuff like that, but it's not. Like, let's take this one for instance, Scum and Villainy. You know, Mos Eisley, a cesspool of scum masquerading as a spaceport. The Empire will pay handsomely for bounty hunters who can sweep away any rebel terrorists threatening the loyal citizens of the Empire. Answer the call. And you know, you read the description, you know, you think that it's going to be a cool mission. You know, you see Bosk and Bubba there, you think it's going to be, oh, it's going to be a fun Bubba, it's going to be a cool co-op mission, bounty hunters, right? Wrong. Let me show you guys what the mission actually is. Also, this game suffers from extremely bad load times, and here in this example on arcade mode, I'm not even playing this as multiplayer, I'm playing this as single player, the map that I was just loading up for you guys, and it takes me nearly a whole minute just to load up this map. It's horrible, and This game is PS4 Pro Enhanced, and I am currently running this on Boost Mode, and Boost Mode is supposed to technically reduce the load times on games, just improve general performance, and I don't understand, it's still taking so long, even with Boost Mode enabled. If somebody here has a good PC and runs this game on PC, if you could comment below and tell me how this game runs on PC as well, if it suffers these horrible load times, but it's just horrible that these load times take so long. And also, I'm going to show you guys an example in a little bit on why these load times are even worse than this that I'm showing you right now. So here, finally, we're about to load up. Took almost a whole minute. Let's do it. So here's the game mode that you are playing here. Basically, it's just the Mos Eisley map. They're just rehashing the multiplayer map, so they don't even have unique maps for this mode. It's just the same maps. It's just the same maps that are typically in multiplayer here. Some of these maps can be really challenging on the harder difficulties, especially with the bot accuracy increase. But what's really annoying about this mode is that every time you fail and you want to restart, you gotta go back in that huge long loading screen again. So right here, take a look at this, guys. I just failed this mission and I want to restart it. Look at what happens when I try to restart it on this. Whoever programmed this arcade mode programmed this really badly, because if a regular player wanted to restart this, they should be just spawned right back where they started, right at the beginning of the round. But no, instead we gotta sit through this long loading screen every time. So every single time you die on this mode, you have to sit through this long loading screen every time, and it's just such a pain. And on the harder missions where you die multiple times, this loading screen is probably going to take away like 10 minutes of your gameplay, because you're probably going to die like 5 or 10 times on some of these really harder missions, and you have to sit through this long loading screen every time. It's just such a pain. And the worst part about arcade mode is that they limit the amount of credits that you can make in a day. That's right. They limit the amount of credits that you can make in a day and tell you the next time you can get credits is in 15 hours. And this particular mission is the hardest dark side mission. This is the last dark side mission. On this mission, you start with 3 seconds, and after you kill your first enemy, each kill is worth 3 more seconds. And this mission, I've probably failed this mission 20 times. I've had to watch that huge long loading screen on it. I go through the whole pain of completing this mission. I died so many times on this. Just keep doing this over and over again, only for EA to tell me that I can't earn any more credits. And here, you guys are going to hear my live reaction to this. Now remember, I failed this mission probably like 10 times, so I got kind of annoyed that I didn't get any rewards when I completed this. Are you kidding me? No credits after that? Are you kidding? So even though this mode has nothing really new to offer, and it's pretty much just wave after wave of bots, the one good thing about this mode is that it lets you practice with your favorite hero or class. Pretty much you can use all the classes on this mode, and you can play as all the heroes. They each have one of their own missions. And my favorite hero is Boba Fett, and because of this mode, and I played this mode a lot on the hardest difficulties, I was able to master Boba Fett, and I have no problem knowing all of Boba Fett's abilities, what he can and can't do, and I'm able to kill enemies really quickly with him now, and whenever I go into multiplayer with him, I can just dominate. So one good thing about this mode is that you can practice with it, and practice makes perfect, but other than that, this mode offers nothing new. Okay, so here, let's talk about the multiplayer part of Star Wars Battlefront 2. So, one improvement in Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Star Wars Battlefront 1 is that they include a lot more heroes than they did in the previous game, and now we have a lot of hero ships as well, too. We have the Han Solo and Chewbacca, Rey and Chewbacca, with Darth Maul, Poe Dameron, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Yoda, Tali Lintra, and Iden Versio. And we have a lot of heroes. You have a lot of heroes and villains too. And one good thing that I want to mention about the content in Battlefront 2 is that the DLCs are supposed to be free. At least they're supposed to be free. That's what EA and DICE have promised. We're going to see if they keep that promise. But for now, we're going to congratulate them for releasing everything for free in this one. So the DLCs are meant to be free. One problem is the loot box system with that, but we're going to cover that in a little bit. Let me show you the rest of the classes here. So we've shown you the heroes and the villains here, all different abilities, different types of weapons, and etc. But let me talk about the classes here itself. So we have the Assault class, and the Assault class is basically just like the standard infantry class. Each class has their own unique abilities. For the Assault, it will be the Thermal Detonator, Vanguard, Scan Dart. And you know, one disappointing thing is that this game only includes four blasters for each class, and all of the blasters are the same except the first one. The first one, it's different for each faction. Like, we have the DC-15A for the Republic, and then we'll have the E-11 for the Empire. But other than that, that. Each class has 4 blasters, which is kind of disappointing. And with these abilities here, we have star cards, and the star cards, I mean, I like that we can like customize our character, you know, and like play the way we want to play. But one bad thing about these star cards is that they're included in loot boxes, and the problem with that is that a player that's going to be grinding the game and playing for so long, they could get loot boxes that are crap, nothing good inside them. But then some player will just randomly open a loot box and they'll get tier 4 star cards. And the problem with star cards is that they're in 4 tiers. There's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. I think that the star cards would be balanced out if they were only 1 tier. That's it. No tier 1, no tier 2, no tier 3, tier 4. Just 1 tier. The problem with that is that if somebody opens up a loot box and they get all these really good tiers, they are going to have a huge advantage over players who don't have the upgraded star cards, or even star cards at all. And you know, it turns the game into pay to win, basically, or luck to win in this case, because originally the loot boxes were microtransactions, but EA took them out temporarily because people were complaining so much about them, and people were right to complain about them, because it turns the game into pay to win. And I don't have anything really against microtransactions, just as long as the microtransactions don't give you some kind of tactical advantage, like skins and like different things you can customize your character with. That's like fine and all, but like when it comes to like actual abilities, perks, like weapons, stuff like that, that should not be in microtransactions whatsoever. So that's the problem with this. Like some of these, like the improved thermal detonator, for what, I got that in a loot box. I didn't work my way for that. So this right here, I didn't work for this. I got lucky and I unlocked this, and that's a real problem, because even if you're really good at this game, if you go up against a team that has all tier 4 loot boxes, and they might have tier 4 star cards, I'm sorry, and they're not that great at the game, they're gonna beat you. And this is the most unbalanced in Starfighter Assault. In Starfighter Assault, if somebody has tier 4 star cards on everything, they're going to dominate everyone. We're gonna get into that in a little bit when we talk about the ships, but here is the star cards. So let me know what you guys think of the star cards below, and I'm gonna be talking about these a little later on. Let me get to the other classes here. So here we have the Heavy. This is probably my most played class, and this reminds me of the support class a lot from Battlefield 1, but obviously they don't toss ammo. And this is the guy basically that's coming in there with the heavy weapons, the heavy blasters, just running in there. The Sentry, I like the Sentry gun where they can spawn kind of like a minigun, fire at the suppress the enemy, and then we have the improved combat shield. So these are the guys who are going to be pushing up, supporting their teammates mostly, like the guys with a lot of the firepower. So this is the character that has the most amount of firepower here. They have 4 blasters again. The first one is the only one that's really unique for each class, but the other 3 down here, pretty much the same again, same thing. Then we have the Officer. The Officer is a class that he only has a blaster pistol on him, and the Officer is going to be supporting his teammates more. He's going to be giving them like boosts and stuff like that. And I mean, here for instance, we have the improved battle command, and that's going to heal everybody in the general area. Flash grenade, blaster turret. So this is the guy who's going to stay in the back usually and is going to support the team with different abilities. And here we have the Specialist class, and this class, this is basically the sniper of Battlefront 2, if that's what you want to call it. Same deal with the blasters again. And I mean, the problem with this class is that this class is basically forced to sit in the back. Like, this is not like Battlefield 1, for instance, and I'm sorry I keep comparing that to it, but it's the same developers that made the game. In Battlefield 1, the sniper, the scout, is able to move up with the rest of the team and support them. Here, these guys have a huge problem moving up with the rest of the team, because for one, they have less health. They do have increased health regeneration, that's one plus, but they have decreased health in general, and these guys are going to get absolutely destroyed in close quarters. So whoever's playing as a Specialist class is forced to sit in the back, and I really don't like that. These guys should have something to be able to defend themselves up close, even if it's a tiny blaster, some kind of small weapon to be able to defend themselves up close, because a lot of these blaster weapons that they have here, these are not going to be good for defending themselves up close. They're going to get destroyed. I can't count the amount of times I tried playing a Specialist and I tried going to capture the objective and I got absolutely destroyed. So these guys have to sit in the back. They're forced to. And here we have a new special class. We have the Enforcer. And personally, my favorite one is the First Order Flame Trooper. I just like him. A lot of people say that he's not that great, but I like him just because he has the flamethrower, and I think his outfit looks really cool. But this is basically like a special character that you will spawn. And this special character, it can range from like a Flame Trooper for the First Order, B-2 Super Battle Droid for the Confederacy of Independent Systems, the Death Trooper for the Empire, Wookiee Warrior for the Rebellion. So So this is kind of like the special troop that you spawn, and you spawn these guys with battle points, by the way. Battle points is a new system that's in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and battle points, I actually really like the concept of battle points. It's much better than what we had in Battlefront 1, where it was just like random pickups where we had to run around the map and like randomly hope that we're gonna pick up the hero or like the vehicle card. It was just stupid. In here, basically everything you do, from like supporting your teammates and killing other players to like taking objectives, destroying objectives, etc., you gain battle points. And then with those battle points, you can spend your battle points when you die, and you can spend it on basically heroes, vehicles, or different characters that you want to play as, kind of like this here. And here we have the aerial class. Basically, this is kind of like a jet trooper class for each one. For Republic here, you see B2 RP rocket droid. And you know, I almost never play as this class, and the reason that I never play as this class is because I feel like this class is extremely weak compared to other ones. Like, you will die very quickly when you play as the jet trooper. Like, I very rarely see people actually play as the jet trooper, and the problem with the jet trooper is that the jetpacks aren't good. In the original Battlefront game, Battlefront 2 in 2005, the jet troopers, they were so much better because they had the exact same jetpack as Boba Fett and Jango Fett. And that's the thing. These guys, they should have the same, in my opinion, they should have the same jetpack as Boba Fett. The exact same jetpack style. Basically, where they fly up, they can stay up in the air as long as how much fuel they have. And I really don't like it the way that they have it. It's not really a jetpack, it's just like a boost, where they're just basically flying up in the sky for like a second and then they fall back down. It's not really gonna give you an advantage over anything. I mean, the rocket launcher, sure, that'll help, but I mean, like, what's the point of really going up in the air if it's not really gonna do anything? And they have like the side boost. I guess that could possibly help when you gotta get into cover, but these guys, they die way too quickly, and the jetpack, it's not that great, so they should really improve these guys. And here we have the armor. The armor, this is the vehicles, a lot of the vehicles that are in the game. AT-ST for Empire. Let's see here, what other ones do we have here? AT-ST for Empire, AAT for Confederacy of Independent Systems, AT-RT for Republic. Okay, so basically this is kind of like the assault vehicles that we have moving up, like the tanks, the small little walkers that we have moving up. And you know, what I really think is disappointing about these is that these vehicles aren't controlled by multiple teammates. It's only controlled by one guy, which is like really disappointing to me. You know, I don't understand. Why can't I transport some teammates in this? Like, why can't, if I'm driving one of these, why can't one of my friends like spawn in the AT-ST with me if I'm driving it, like one other person, and like be a co-pilot, co-gunner? You know, if you watch the movies, two people are operating the AT-ST, a driver and then there's a gunner. So I don't understand why it's only one person that's always controlling them. I kind of think it's stupid. Like the AAT, this tank, for instance, could transport a lot of droids in it. I don't understand why only one person is in it. You know, in Battlefront 2, the original one in 2005, you could use these vehicles to transport your teammates to objectives, and it was actually useful because you could transport teammates around the map and you could get them there quickly. I don't understand why you can't transport people in these vehicles. The concept doesn't make much sense to me. And here we have artillery. Artillery, this can be varied. Like, for instance, the LAAT gunship. I'm gonna tell you guys, don't ever pick this. This is a giant waste. This is a waste of time spawning this vehicle. I spawned in this vehicle one time thinking that I could do something. Basically, when you spawn in this vehicle, the only thing is, the gunship will fly around in circles around the map, and then you'll be in that laser turret trying to do damage, and I could barely kill anybody because of the angle that the ship was flying at all the time, and also you're a giant target in the sky. This is just a waste. If you're ever playing as Republic, don't spawn this gunship because it's a giant waste. And then we have the AT-AT. The AT-AT, this, you're not even going to be controlling it. You're only in the gunner. This is only on maps where the Empire actually has the walker on it, like Hoth, for instance. And you're only going to be spawning the gunner. You're not going to be able to do anything else. It's kind of really disappointing. I mean, in the original Battlefront game, I remember how you were able to actually control these things. You're only spawning the gunner. It's only temporarily. It's kind of disappointing. And it's the same thing in the MTT for the Confederacy of Independent Systems. The exact same thing. This thing, you're only going to be spawning the gunner, so it's kind of disappointing. The U-wing gunship, I haven't actually gotten the chance to fly this one, but from what I hear, it's pretty much the same thing. These vehicles are not much help. They're pretty the gunship is pretty useless, but these vehicles, these are going to be based on chance pretty much when you spawn in them. Like the MTT and the AT-AT, you can get a lot of kills in these vehicles, but only if you're lucky. If you spawn in the vehicle and there's no enemies in front of you, you're basically just going to be wasted battle points. But if you spawn in these vehicles and there's a lot of enemies in front of you, you are going to get a lot of kills. Like for instance, one time I remember I spawned in the MTT and there was nobody in front of me, I wasted it. But another time I spawned in it and I was in a perfect angle where there were so many enemies in front of it and I got so many kills. I got like 7,000 battle points just in the gunner for this temporary. That's how many people I killed. I think I probably killed like 15 people with this thing. So I've gotten a lot of kills with this one time. So it's basically based on luck, and it's temporarily. And here we have the speeders. It's the concept says it pretty much. It's just a vehicle that's used to transport people really quickly. And you know, this is the first order, the LIUV. And you know, the thing about this is I've noticed people don't even use the weapons on these speeders. They very rarely use the weapons. They're actually going to be running people over. If you ever see one of these speeders in a multiplayer map, there's going to be somebody that's going to be trying to run people over with it. That's how the people get the majority of the kills. They run people over with these speeders, and it kind of ruins the concept of having weapons on it if people are going to be running each other over. And you know, the first order, if you read the books, they're actually one driver on this, and then there's a co-pilot, and the co-pilot has a little turret on this little gunner. So I don't understand why this doesn't have a gunner on it, you know. Why can't you transport more people in these speeders, you know, especially the ones that have room in it? Like this one, you should definitely be able to transport 2 people in it. I don't really understand why it's like that. And here we have the speeder bike from the Battle of Endor, stolen LIUV. Ski speeder, oh man, this thing runs so many people over. If you ever played a map Crate, there's going to be so many people trying to run other players over with this, because the map is very flat, and there's going to be so many people trying to run each other over with this. Just watch out for this, because people try to run each other over with this thing, and it's really annoying, kind of. You know, these speeders, I don't really have much of a use for them. I just wish it was... I wish, you know, it was easy to hook on and destroy the AT-ATs, like in the Battlefront 2 in 2005, with the rope. You know, you could hook it up and then you could knock it down. I wish it was easy like that in Battlefront 2 in 2005, but unfortunately it's not in this game. So I rarely see people use these speeders, and when they actually do use these speeders, they're running each other over like crazy. And here we have the fighters. We have fighter, interceptor, and bomber. So let me talk to you guys about the fighter. Fighter, this is used in Starfighter Assault or in a Galactic Assault where they allow fighters. And the fighter is basically like it's a hybrid between the bomber and the interceptor. The interceptor is a ship that's designed to dogfight specifically. And this one, it's good. This is personally my favorite ship, and my favorite ship because it's good for bombing objectives, and it's also good for attacking other ships. That's why I like it a lot. And you know, if you are kind of player where you like to do both, you like to attack objective and attack other players in the sky, the fighter will definitely be good for you. And you know what's kind of cool is that each ship, depending on the faction, will have its own unique abilities. Like the TIE Fighter, for instance, has the afterburner if you look on the left side. But the let me see, where is it? The X-Wing will actually have an astromech repair, and the afterburner makes it go faster. So the X-Wing will have a temporary repair, but the TIE Fighter has an ability where it can fly faster. So there's a way to balance each one out. And the ARC 170, this is probably my favorite one specifically here because it has a turret gunner on it, and the turret gunner is very useful. It's a gunner that's in the back that will actually deal with fighters that are chasing you. So it's actually, this one is personally my favorite one. Let me show you guys the Interceptor. The Interceptors, these are meant specifically just for dogfighting. They're just meant for dogfighting. I mean, they can technically attack the objective, but they're meant mostly for dogfighting other ships specifically. I rarely use these ones because I'm mostly an objective player. I'm focusing on objectives, but they each have their own abilities on a lot of them. Like here, I'll have a concussion missile turret gunner. Here, we'll have a hard lock. So these laser barrage, a lot of these have their own abilities depending on the faction that you're playing as. And here we have the bombers. And you know, the bombers are very strange in this game. The bombers are meant to be attacking objectives. They're supposed to be for attacking objectives, just like in Battlefront 2 in 2005. The problem with the bombers is that if somebody has really powerful star cards on these, they can kill fighters and interceptors easily. Like, they will be able to destroy other ships easily. The bombers are not meant to dogfight, but yet if you have the right star cards, you can just destroy everybody. And like I remember there was this guy who had like tier 4 star cards on the bombers, and they were like just dogfighting other ships and just taking them down so easily. And I mean, like, look at this, improves the bombers' defensive ability, weapon systems ability. Increased dual torpedo damage, increases top speed, how quickly the starfighter can accelerate and decelerate, reduces the time to gain a missile lock, improves the primary weapon's resistance overheating, primary weapon damage. So like, if you target lock, so if somebody has like really powerful star cards, they can actually use the bomber to dogfight, and I think that should not be the case, because there's no reason why an interceptor should be losing to a bomber easily. If somebody has star cards, if somebody has really overpowered star cards on that concept does not make much sense to me. Like, think about it. Do you guys think a bomber should be able to dogfight like a fighter that's specifically designed for just dogfighting? No, a bomber is supposed to bomb. It's supposed to bomb targets. That's what it's meant to do. But it doesn't make much sense to me how it's able to so easily kill other ships. It's the concept doesn't really make much sense to me. And somebody that has really powerful star cards, like I said, they are going to be extremely overpowered in this. Okay, so let me talk to you guys now about the game modes. Let me tell you guys what we got in Battlefront 2's multiplayer. So in terms of multiplayer modes, this game has 5 multiplayer modes, and in my opinion, there's only 3 real unique multiplayer modes. The first one that we have here, it's Strike, which is kind of like Capture the Flag in other games, and it's where one team is defending, and they usually have like 2 flags, 2 pickups, and the other team just basically has to run into their base, steal the item, and it's bring it back, and they score. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing really unique about this mode. The second multiplayer mode that we have is called Blast, and Blast is nothing more than Team Deathmatch. Team Deathmatch, where it's 2 teams going up against each other. Each kill that you get scores a point until one team reaches the maximum amount of points and they win. Nothing special in this game mode also. So the third game mode we have here, and this is personally my favorite one, this is Starfighter Assault, and this is a vast improvement from Starfighter Assault in Battlefront 1. And Starfighter Assault takes place mostly in space. There is one land map with Camino, but it takes place mostly in space battles, and it's where one team is attacking and another team is defending. The defending team's objective is to take out as many of the attackers as they can, completely drying up their tickets. They win the battle. The attackers win when they complete all the objectives, when they destroy all of the objectives. And in this particular case right here, this is the First Order attacking the Resistance as they're evacuating on the car. The Starfighter Assault takes place over 3 eras, as well as the other game modes: Clone Wars, Galactic Civil War, First Order, and Resistance Conflict. And in this case right here, the First Order is flying around and destroying these shield generators, and then once these shield generators are destroyed, they go after a lot of the Resistance's cruisers. This map is actually really hard to win as the First Order. I have not won one time on this map as the First Order, because it's very, very challenging, because there's so many objectives to destroy, and then once you destroy that, you have to go after the cruisers, and a lot of the cruisers can take a lot of damage. So some of these maps can be very challenging for the attackers to win. Others can be very easy, such as the one in the Imperial shipyard where the rebels are attacking and they have to attack a Star Destroyer. That one's pretty easy. But this one's pretty challenging. And you know, this is my favorite game mode, but this game mode does have problems, you know. This is the most, in terms of the star cards that I was talking about earlier, the really overpowered star cards, you know how people can have tier 4 star cards? This game mode can be the most unbalanced with star cards. If somebody has tier 4 star cards, and it doesn't matter if they're a high rank or not, if they have tier 4 star cards, they unlock them randomly by loot boxes, they're going to have a huge advantage over everybody else in the lobby. And I'm not talking small, this is a huge advantage. They're going to be able to easily destroy anybody that gets in their way. And in this level right here, there's a few people that have tier 4 star cards that are absolutely destroying me. I only have tier 4 star cards on one of my star cards, but some of these people, they have all 3 tier 4s, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second. I'm going to show you guys just how unbalanced this can be, especially when these guys are just abusing these star cards. Let me show you this right here. So here's a perfect example of why star cards ruin this mode, especially the tier 4 star cards. Take a look at this. Look, you guys see how quickly I died there? Here we are playing this clip one more time. I barely have any time to react. I just almost die instantly. Look, I barely had any chance right there. So let's take a look at what this guy actually has on his class here. So here, let's take a look at what kind of star cards this guy has. He has advanced torpedoes, tuned lasers, and fighter weapon systems, all tier 4. And you know, I don't really have anything against this guy. I have more of a problem with the developers for putting this kind of feature in the game, because if I was him and I would have had those star cards, I would have been using those too. I mean, who wouldn't be using those star cards, honestly, if they had those unlocked? But this completely ruins Starfighter Assault and makes it completely unbalanced, and this also happens in the other game modes, but it's the worst in Starfighter Assault. And you know, I don't have a problem with the star cards as long as if they were tier 1, if they were only 1 tier, that's it. But because there's 4 tiers, people can have extremely powerful star cards, and then other people could have extremely weak star cards. So, I mean, you know, it's and the fact that this is that this is unlockable by loot boxes, and even though the loot boxes are not paid anymore, they're still in the game, and you can get these star cards in loot boxes. So that means a player that hasn't even worked for them could get them by luck. And you know, I don't have access to these tier 4 star cards, and I'm just absolutely getting destroyed in this mode. So I don't care how good of a pilot you are. If you're a good pilot and you're going up against an entire team that has these star cards, they are going to absolutely destroy you. And in this lobby, particularly here, that guy, he was actually at the top of the leaderboard. So, I mean, Starfighter Assault has potential. It's definitely better than what it was in Battlefront 1, but they have put in more mistakes, especially with the star card crap, because the way that the star cards system is in, it shouldn't be in like this. There should only be one star card. That's it. There shouldn't be 4 tiers. There should only be one star card. Just does this, and then you can customize your ship. That's how it should be. Shouldn't be 4 levels of it. It just doesn't make sense because it completely breaks the game. And just how hard it is to kill some of these people with these star cards. It's just not fun. And also, I wanted to comment on the Starfighter Assault here. You know, it is fun. Don't get me wrong, and it's my favorite game mode in this game, but I wish that it was like Starfighter Assault, well, not Starfighter Assault, I should say like Space Battles in Battlefront 2 in the 2005 game. And in that game, what happened was you didn't have this kind of attack and defend things objective-based scenario. Instead, you had it where 2 huge ships, 2 huge capital ships were going up against each other, and they had small frigates on their sides, and each team would start out in the hangar, and you could be like a Space Marine, or you could be a pilot. The Space Marine had a assault blaster and a rocket launcher, and he couldn't. The disadvantage of the Space Marine was that he could not repair the ship when he was in flight, but the pilot could, and the pilot only had a simple blaster. And what was really cool about this game mode was you could fly around, you could damage the enemy's capital ship, you could destroy the frigates, you could dogfight in the sky, and the best part about this game mode was you could actually land inside the enemy hangar, and you could actually fight through their ship, and actually fight and take down their shields, destroy their engines, all these things. You could do all this sabotage inside their main capital ship. And, you know, that's what was so cool about that mode. But here, you know, I mean, all we're doing is basically it's just a scenario that they're coming up with on each map. And, you know, it's the same thing pretty much every time we played one. In that case, it was unique. You could have different battles in space, and you could have a battle inside the actual capital ship. It was unique. But, you know, here, it's just the same objectives over and over again. And on this map, like I said, this map, it's so hard for the First Order to win. I mean, we had to take out all those shield generators, and then we had to take out 4 of these frigates here, these small cruisers. I mean, I've never won one time on this map as the First Order. So, I mean, Starfighter Assault has potential. Get rid of the annoying star cards in this mode. If you're only going to have star cards, only have 1 star card, or give everybody tier 4 star cards, because if people don't have access to these tier 4 star cards and other players do, it makes this game mode completely unbalanced. I wish it was like Battlefront 2 in 2005, but unfortunately, this is what we get, and it's not crap, but, you know, it could be better. The 4th game mode that we have here is Heroes vs. Villains. And Heroes vs. Villains is basically a mode where it's the light side characters versus dark side characters, and you can choose your character in this mode, which I like. But what I really don't like about this mode is that this mode should have been a team deathmatch. It should have been where whenever you kill another hero, you score a point for your team. That's how it should be. I don't like that in this mode, there's one random player that's chosen to be the target, and then everybody has to protect that player and go after the other team's target. I really don't like that, because when you have bad people that are chosen as the target, your team is going to suffer because of that. So I really wish it was more of a team deathmatch style. Some of these maps can be better, and I really wish there was more Heroes versus Villains maps. Hopefully more DLC will come in the future. The Kashyyyk map is the worst map for Heroes versus Villains, because on the Kashyyyk map it takes place on these platforms, and everybody just force pushes each other off the platforms, and it's just really unbalanced. And this mode can also be pretty unbalanced if you have the powerful star cards. I'm playing as Rey here, and I actually have tier 4 star cards, which I unlocked with my pre-order, and because of that, I'm actually destroying everybody. I'm killing everybody right now. You guys just saw me slaughter a bunch of targets. So while this mode has potential and it is fun, it does not come without its problems. I think that they should redo this mode, and I think they should add a team deathmatch mode. I really hate the mode where we have a target that we have to look for specifically. And here we have the final game mode, Galactic Assault. And Galactic Assault is a 40-player mode, 20 versus 20, spanning across all three eras, the Clone Wars, Galactic Civil War, and the First Order and Resistance conflict. And this mode, it has the same concept as Starfighter Assault. It has an attacker and a defender, and the attackers, usually they are going to try to push up some type of vehicle, like the Separatists in this case are pushing up the MTTs. You can have the Empire pushing up the AT-ATs on Hoth. You can have the First Order pushing up their own version of the AT-ATs on Crate. So basically you have usually one vehicle trying to push up, and the defenders have the objective of trying to stop this vehicle. And when this vehicle actually gets to its destination, unlike Walker Assault in Battlefront 1 in 2015, the game mode won't end. It'll just go on to the second phase of the battle. So once the vehicle gets to its location, the attacker team is going to have to do something else. Like in the First Order's scenario, when they walkers get to the cave, they're going to have to breach the caves and clear out the resistance out of the caves and destroy their generators. The Separatists here, they are going to actually have to capture, they're going to have to capture and destroy two mobile command centers that the clones have, and then they're going to have to push into their actual capital ship and destroy that from the inside. And you know what's cool about this game mode is that this game mode actually feels like an invasion. Like we have the Kashyyyk invasion by the Confederacy of Independent Systems in this case. And you know what I like is that these battles seem to have a lot of respect for the Clone Wars. They do. When I say the Clone Wars, I'm referring a lot to the TV show that spanned from 2008 to 2014, I believe, which showed us the majority of the Clone Wars. That Episode 3 didn't really show that much. And in this case, in the top left screen that you guys saw at the beginning, that was a commander droid that was actually talking to you, and those only appear in the Clone Wars TV show, so I was actually surprised that they actually put that in. And they also included the Battle of Kamino, and the Battle of Kamino does not appear in the movies, but it was a huge battle in the Clone Wars TV show where the Separatists tried to go in and invade Kamino, and they tried to steal clone DNA in order to sabotage the clone creation process. So they do have respect for the Clone Wars TV show, and I really do like that. I just really hope that they'll have more respect for it and add more battles. Add more Clone Wars era TV show battles, you know. They could possibly add the Battle of Megiddo from Episode 3. They could add, there's so many battles for the Clone Wars that they could add. And if they're gonna respect the Clone Wars TV show, please add heroes, add Captain Rex, you know, add Ahsoka, make sure you add Anakin. You know, there's so many characters that you could add from the Clone Wars TV show that you definitely got to add as heroes in this game. So if they're going to continue the Clone Wars trend, I do like the way this is going. They've got to bring in Ahsoka and Captain Rex. There's two main heroes. They have to bring those heroes into the game. This is not going to be a complete Clone Wars battle unless you see Ahsoka or Captain Rex. So they need to bring those two heroes into the game. And what I wanted to say is about these vehicles that push up. Here, the Separatists have the two MTTs that are pushing up. I have not seen the defenders one time destroy the vehicle. I have not seen them one time destroy the walker or the MTT. It just never happens. And a lot of times it's like the defenders, they don't even care, because whenever I was playing as a defender, I'm running to try to get the ion cannon, and I'm trying to run up there and destroy the thing, and I don't see anybody backing me up, and I don't really see anybody going for the ion cannon either. So there needs to be more teamwork, and people need to go for these objectives more. That's not a fault of the game, but I'm just saying in general that when I play these modes, people just don't care. They just run around for kills, and they don't go for the objectives a lot of times, especially when it comes to destroying the vehicle. I try my absolute best to destroy the vehicle. I have not seen the vehicle destroyed one time on this, so if you guys have actually seen the walker destroyed one time, let me know in the comments below, but I have not seen it get destroyed one time, and I'm really hoping that one day I can destroy it. But also, here's another thing. They have these things like kind of like squads where you're kind of like with your teammates, and the special teammates that you spawn with, and they have like this little gold thing on top of them. And when you guys are in close proximity of each other, sorry for my cutout there. When you guys are in close proximity of each other, you guys earn double points. And you know, if you guys stay together and work together, you can rack up a lot of battle points quickly, and then you can use those battle points to spawn heroes, vehicles, and such. But you know, this whole squad concept, it's not really that great, because you can't even spawn on your teammates. The teammates that you're in the gold with, you should be able to spawn on them. Just like in Battlefield 1, you should be able to spawn on them. It'll encourage a lot more team play, and I almost never see anybody actually sticking together with these gold, in these gold squads. They almost never stick together. Everybody just goes off on their own way. I try my best to stick close to these teammates, but a lot of times they just run off on their own and they don't care, and, you know, it could have been better. You could have been able to spawn on your teammates here. And you know, one disappointing thing, and this relates directly to Galactic Assault here, they bragged about adding so many more planets to this game and so many more locations, but yet they still have not done a Galactic Conquest mode. Why have they not done a Galactic Conquest mode? I mean, do you guys have any idea how cool it would be, you know, if you were able to do Galactic Conquest from Battlefront 2 and you were able to, like, play online, and like you would have one person on your team be like a commander or a general, and they would choose like which planet to attack, and they could like command the troops or something like that and give specific orders, and then you get like points for completing those objectives, things like that, you know. That would just be cool and just be fun. And for people who didn't know what Galactic Conquest is, in the original Battlefront game in 2005, they had this mode where each team started out with a capital ship, and you had like a map of the galaxy, and each faction had a certain amount of territory that they controlled, certain planets. And what would happen is the capital ship would move around and it would attack other planets. And whoever's planet that was, that team had to defend. And it was basically just a conquest map. You would run around the map, and the maps were much more sandbox. They were much more open. You could run around here. I mean, these maps are big here, don't get me wrong. But these maps are just straight linear. They're big, but they're linear. Just you can only push up in one direction. Versus in the Battlefront 2 maps in 2005, you could go in so many different directions. It was about capturing flags, holding objectives, similar to Conquest mode in Battlefield games. And that's what it was. I mean, it was fun. You could do invasions of each planet, and you could take over areas. And even when the two capital ships met each other, you would have a big space battle, and that was fun. You know, imagine how cool that would be with modern graphics, a modern engine on Battlefront. That would be amazing. All they have to do is just follow this formula. Follow the formula that made the 2005 game amazing. Just follow that, and it's just a recipe for success. But instead, these developers just have it in their ideas that they have their own unique vision of Battlefront. And you know, I don't know why they're calling it a Star Wars Battlefront game, why it has the title Battlefront, if it's not similar to the original game in 2005. It has to have the same formula, at least, of that game. And you know, to some extent it does, but not all the way. So I don't understand why they're calling this a Battlefront game if it's not completely a Battlefront game. And like I said earlier, this is not a terrible game. This is not a terrible game. I would just say it has disappointment in it. It could have been better. It still has the potential to be better. You never know what they're gonna add in the new DLCs. They could actually add a Galactic Conquest mode in the DLCs. They could still do it. You never know. But this game has potential, and you know, the things holding it back in this review, the single player. And you know, a lot of people don't care about single player. They go straight to multiplayer. That's fine and all, but I'm a single player guy. I like both single player and multiplayer. You know, if I have a single player, I want it to be a good single player. I want it to be an enjoyable one. And you know, one of the main reasons that I actually bought this game, and I felt like I was tricked, like I felt like it was false advertising, was the story. It was advertised as being from an Imperial perspective when it clearly was not from an Imperial perspective. Instead, we defect halfway through the campaign. Not even halfway through. It was like 3 missions playing as the Empire, and then we changed to the Rebellion, which makes no sense. That story made no sense. And without the Resurrection DLC, it's 4 hours. With the Resurrection DLC, it's 5 hours. So we have a 5-hour storyline that was not even great. I didn't even enjoy it too much. You know, arcade mode isn't that great, you know. It doesn't have anything unique. It's basically just fighting against bots. I mean, sure, it'll let you practice, but it does not have anything unique. The multiplayer has so many problems with the star card system, and the fact that you can get these in loot boxes. It just ruins the whole process there, because it doesn't matter if you're a good player or if you're a bad player. It's just by luck. It's just by luck. Whoever unlocks star cards, and I mean, you can eventually get the good star cards if you level up and level up and level up, but that takes so long. And here, somebody that doesn't even play the game that long, like plays 1 day and just gets a random loot box to get all good stuff in it, and then a player that grinds for days won't get anything good out of it, and that really ruins it, because it turns the game, and there's no more pay to win, but it turns the game into luck to win. It's basically whoever gets the good star cards and gets lucky. And like I said, I don't care how good of a player you are, some of these star cards you will lose against players that do not have the same skill as you. If they have the better star cards, they have a huge advantage over you, and they're going to destroy you. And that's one thing I don't really like about this game. I don't mind the whole star card system, but if everybody had access to those star cards from day one. Everybody had access to those star cards. Everybody had access to the same star cards. There wasn't tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. It was only one tier of star cards, and everybody could pick them and create their own class. Then it would be balanced. But having this system where it's just randomly put in loot boxes, it just doesn't make sense, and it just ruins the whole game experience. Why should a player that grinds for so long be punished, but a player that just randomly gets a loot box and gets lucky should be rewarded? You know, the whole concept of it doesn't make too much sense. And they took out the microtransactions. They took it out because people were complaining about it, and they were right to complain about that. I mean, how dare EA do that? How dare they? How dare they try to turn this game into pay to win? And I'm really curious what EA is going to do. Are they going to bring back the microtransactions? Is it going to be worse? We're going to have to wait and see, but this is pretty much wrapping up my review, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this review. Let me know what you guys think down below. And, you know, I'm sorry this review took so long. And I know I am a few months here late. But I really did want to review this game and give my 2 cents on it. Because I am a major Star Wars fan. And it really hurts me deep down inside when I see them do these things to Star Wars games. And, you know, personally, if it was up to me, I think that EA should be revoked of their Star Wars license. Because only they have the right to make Star Wars games. Nobody else. And there's so many developers that have potential to make great Star Wars games. And, you know, EA has really ruined it. Has really done it here. This is not a terrible game, but it's disappointing in a lot of aspects, and it still has potential. They could still fix a lot of the things and make this game really, really fun. If you are a Star Wars fan, though, I do suggest you get this game because there's no other games like this, especially on the PS4 and the Xbox One and modern PC games. There's no other games that are really like this game. So if you are a real Star Wars fan, even though this game does have a lot of disappointing features, get it just for the multiplayer, just so you can have fun with your friends. But like I said earlier, has a lot of problems from single player, arcade mode, to multiplayer. So this is pretty much my review. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.
Our revenge is at hand.